is the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series Playoffs. Race number 1 of the playoffs from virtual Darlington Raceway tonight. I am Emerson Arden. I have my colleague Edward Scherer alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening. And we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from virtual Darlington, South Carolina. Last time out, we had a fantastic race at Kansas that saw our playoff field get solidified. Tonight, with what is now 16 playoff drivers, they will look to get their postseason runs started off on the right foot with a dance with the Lady in Black tonight. And welcome to Darlington. We're here for a great time tonight, a playoff race. And as I mentioned, we're now up to 16 drivers. There was a calculation error where Andrew Harris was initially shown eliminated. He did not get bonus points that he was deservingly awarded throughout the regular season, and so he has been credited into the playoffs as the 16th driver. We can actually take a look at those playoff standings, and you can kind of see what your kind of view on this, Ed, is. Now the cut line is at 10 drivers, and it's only a 2-race round.
Yeah, I mean, looking back from, you can go as far back from Michael Seidler in 6 all the way to back to Dustin Slider. I mean, one mistake tonight can change basically any outcome and basically the whole starting top 10. I mean, seriously, and we're talking about one of the trickiest places to get around to in the Lady in Black in Darlington. I mean, turns 1 and 2, it comes up on you quick. You really can't go side by side unless you're really, really gutsy enough to do it. But then you also have to be prepared for turn 2, as it's almost like a cutting sweep. You have to dive the truck back down into. Your passing zone's mainly going to be down the back straightaway, sending it up off of turn 2, going down to turns 3 and 4, but turns 3 and 4 can also be treacherous too. You can step out in the back end and get sideways loose. And also, this place is really tricky with the iRacing rules, Emerson. The cautions don't fly as often when you go wrecking inside the inside wall and both the back straightaway and the front straightaway. So some wrecks tonight we may not see cautions for, and some we might be able to see cautions for, but it'll be interesting tonight, and it's probably going to be one of those races where we're going to see a lot of aggressiveness from some of those guys back in that cut line, like Scott Kalal, Ben Park, Austin DeLong, and then also some passiveness like Kyle Speedy, Radke, and Jason Green, who are going to try to build on those point gaps.
I think you are absolutely right, Ed. It's time for us to head down to trackside. Let's get through our starting lineup. And so here is the starting lineup up on your screen. Then on the left-hand side is your pole sitter, Ben Morrow, in that number 75 Machine 29.249. Jason Green will start to the outside of row 1 in second. Row 2, we find Andrew Harris, again, a newly addition driver into the playoff field. Matthew Greathouse starts 4th. Dalton McKenney, Jeffrey Radke, Rat Level Midnight Motorsports locking out row 3. Kyle Spees, Corey Stahl, and the Park Brothers, Ben and Dan, 9th and 10th, Ed.
Yeah, 66, Nathan De La Rosa in 11th, along with Joe Rogels, the veteran, up in 12th. Scott Kalal, one of those guys in the cut line, in 13th, who had a good run last week at Kansas, along with Wally Babb in 14th in that 99 truck. Zachary Hines in 15th, along with Joshua Marcy in 16th. Aaron Gerwitz, who also had a good run at Kansas last week, and probably one of my sleeper picks, in 17th. And Sean Long in the 84 and 18th. Mike Lepicki in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 would be Jeffrey Vicky in the 51 car.
Starting 21st will be the 89 of Austin DeLong. Justin Slider will start 22nd as Dylan Godinez, 23rd. Gregory Thurlow will start 24th. Jason Kratke, 25th, and Derek Da Silva, 26th. Row 14 sees Sean Corcoran and Connor Cunningham, with Spencer Brown and Walt Lepicki rounding out our 30-driver grid this evening. And so that is how these 30 drivers will roll off of the grid tonight. There's also a Tier 2 playoffs, which is everyone who did not make the playoffs, or second chance playoffs, if you will, who have made 9 starts to this point of the season, are eligible for that second chance playoff. But, of course, we're going to keep our eyes more on the playoff drivers tonight. When we get to the scoring pylon on the left-hand side of your screen tonight, you will notice that our playoff drivers will be highlighted in a dark blue shade. You also notice a lot of these drivers are running throwback paint schemes. You can see a couple just right there. You can see a Bobby Hamilton car, Kyle Petty, Jimmy Johnson livery, Jeff Burton. I mean, there's so many great colors we're going to be able to see throughout the field tonight, and it'll be fun as we work to pick off through these 90 laps of racing at the track that's dubbed as Too Tough to Tame tonight.
Easily one of my favorite parts of the week, the throwback week at Darlington, but also it'll be interesting now as being that opening race of the playoffs as we get ready to go green here.
Well, here we go. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down the pit lane. The field is in the hands of the 75 of Ben Morrow. And the field trudgingly approaches the restart zone. And green flag is in the air. We are racing from Darlington. Truck's already off the racing surface, hard into the inside wall. Look at the 5 truck of Derek De Silva and the 74 Sean Corcoran involved, but we stay green.
Yeah, like we mentioned pre-race, Emerson, you know, they're not going to call a caution for that if it's only in the inside of that part of that wall, so you got to be on your toes. See that some of those guys checking up and stuff, but we're seeing a little bit of separation in this field, a lot of single file movement as Ben Morrow, our pulsator, is leading this field going down into turn 3 and 4 as we have playoff drivers 1 through 7 currently right now in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And then not everyone that isn't highlighted in blue, but most of these drivers not highlighted in blue are going to be your tier 2 drivers. And so they're fighting for their own. I believe Corey Stahl is actually not part of one of those drivers, but Daniel Park is. So if you're curious about the tier 2 championship, the second chance, Daniel Park is currently leading that battle. You see most of these drivers, everyone keeping a single file, but you see they're off of turn 2, Ed. These trucks dip way down off the racing surface.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to maybe Scott Kalal back in 12th and all those other playoff trucks back there, Connor Cunningham, who also started back in 24th, up making some ground up. I mean, all these guys got to be a little bit of aggressive trying to try to get up in that top 10, get some stage points, because, I mean, some of these guys are fighting for their playoff life. See, Aaron Gerwitz, one of the playoff drivers, into the wall. Already in the middle of 1 and 2. He's side by side now with Zachary Hines coming off turn 2. That's one mistake. Oh, and again into the wall, the 9 truck of Aaron Gerwitz.
You see Gerwitz there. He's having to fight the 84, Sean Long, and the 4 of Zachary Hines. Here comes Godinez and Mike Lepicki hot in pursuit as well. This is going on in the heart of the teens right here. This is all going on for 15th on back, if you will, but everyone kind of running up on one another. See a truck taking to the apron there.
I think that's Walt Lepicki.
Yeah, Walt Lepicki
to join in. Oh, Jason Green really off the pace off of turn 2. I think he had a moment. He's going to lose a spot to Matthew Greathouse. Oh, and a big check up Jeffrey Racky as well under fire from Kyle Spees. They're side by side coming off of turns 4.
Double wide here down the front straightaway. You don't want to open up that inside. You'll see many of these drivers tonight. When a truck gets down to the inside there into turn 1, your best bet is to just let them have it. If you go double wide into turn 1 and you are not ready for it, or you don't have 100%, you're locked into the line of running double wide, you are going to hit the wall. You are going to lose more time. Just give the spot up, file back in line, study, and see if you can get back to them later in the race.
Yeah, well, seeing how sideways these trucks are already, Emerson, I'm a little concerned for some of these drivers, how this race might fall on if we go green flag racing like we are now. I mean, these things tend to have a looser fall off than they do in the beginning. Usually you have like a tight start and then we have a wreck in the back. Joe Ruggles and then one of our playoff drivers, Wally Babb, also involved.
Wally Babb,
no,
big hit! The 71 of Spencer Brown hard into the incident as well. Walt Lepicki, as you mentioned, and the caution comes out for the first time today. Big hit there again for Wally Babb, one of our playoff drivers in heavy trouble early here at Darlington, and we're gonna go back and take a look and see what happened to Wally Babb.
All I noticed was there's a lot of checking up going on in the turns 1 and 2. If I might have guessed, I think it had to be some side-by-side that gone wrong. Yeah, it looks like Wally goes for a run on Joe Ruggles.
We were just mentioning this, Ed.
Yep, can't really... Oh, Joe just looks like he came down the track a little bit. Maybe he had a little too much turn in the wheel.
Oh, hold it up there. No. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Walt. That was not good.
But I'm also not a fan of the driver driving down across traffic as well. That's a twofer, man. That's a tough break.
And you were calling it. I mean, like I mentioned,
we were just talking about it.
You do not want to go side by side, and it's just terrifying. I mean, you really can't. It's just hard to misjudging. I mean, you gotta be like really, really
Oh,
perfect on hitting your marks to make that work. So I mean, that's a tough break there for Wally Babb. And I mentioned it, Emerson. I mean, this is the one track I had circled that would be a big factor for some of these guys. And you know, we already have our first playoff driver in a big hole, and that's another playoff driver's on the cut line's reward right there. I mean, somebody's gonna make a big ground chunk on Wally Babb, a bunch of them probably, a big chunk on Wally Babb here after this race, because I think Wally's got to be done. I mean, that engine's killed.
Oh, that was a big hit. So side by side with Ruggles. Ruggles comes off the top and then turns. But right here, you got to hold the brake. Just hold the brake, and you just see trucks coming. It just, I mean, it's a rough spot all in all. It's a very narrow racing surface. This is just unfortunate for everyone involved. So a big hit there for Wally Babb, as he's going to take a hit here early in the first playoff race of the season. And so there you see Wally Babb. We come back to live action here on the pit lane.
And this is going to be probably a end of the night basically moment for Wally Babb. I mean, that was a tough hit. It's going to be tough to recover. I mean, he's going to need a lot of caution help, and that's probably at least like a 16-minute repair too. So
it's going to be a lot. Tonight's race is a 90-lap race, and we have our stage coming out at lap number 30. But while we're at it, we can kind of look our way through the field, look at some of these playoff schemes. Or sorry, playoff schemes, yes, but also throwback paint schemes. So here we go, Ed. How about this one? The Bell South car, the Cal Petty throwback.
That was Cal Petty? I did not know for a minute. I swore I looked at it
Pretty
real
sure.
quick and I thought it was a Jeff Gordon throwback.
I think Bell South was Cal Petty. Well, it looks like I might be learning today. But find our way back. But here, pretty sure this is Bobby Hamilton.
That looks like a Jeff Green throwback.
Jeff Green. That'd be better. Much better guess. Yeah.
Throwback.
Let's see.
Kyle Speed's rocking Kyle Speed's throwback.
Here we go. Got a bit of a Wrangler throwback.
Ah, the Intimidator.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson throwback. Nicely done.
Easily one of your
McFingers.
favorites. Yep.
It looks like we're getting doubled up here, but probably one of my favorite, my favorite throwback scheme of all time is probably this X side Jeff Burton throwback. And this is an amazing scheme. And right behind, well, we'll wrap up here at the Park Brothers. Dan Park, he's actually running a throwback to his painter's father, Mick Olafson. Painted this scheme, and it's a throwback to his dad's painting. So that's pretty cool. We'll get through more paint schemes later on throughout the race, but we are doubled up and getting ready to get back to it. So it is Ben Morrow, Andrew Harris, Matthew Greathouse, Jason Green, Kyle Spees, Jeffrey Radke, and the iRacing.com safety vehicle. We'll find it safety down the pit lane. The field is in the hands of the 75 of Ben Morrow, and green flag back in the air, racing once again from Darlington. A lap removed from the restart. It's all Ben Morrow. Double wide. Here we go. Greathouse and Green going at it.
Yeah, in contact in the middle of the field as well. Corey Stahl, Ben Park trading some paint.
Oh,
A lot of separation behind them, but it looks like Jason. Oh, somebody sideways. I don't know
the
who that
35
was.
of Marcy. And the this is
And
Chad Little
Godinez as
throwback.
well.
Godinez, yeah,
Got a bunch of
there he
playoff
is.
drivers back there in the middle of this mess right now that are not getting points. I mean, Gerwitz, DeLong, Cunningham, Godinez, Slider. They gotta start making their way through this field if they're gonna do anything. It's Jeffrey Radke now putting pressure on the 13 of Matthew Grayhouse. That's a throwback. I will say myself, Kyle Busch there back in, I believe it was the Nationwide days.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think about that. That's exactly it. A Z-Max throwback right there.
I believe the 66 is running it as well. I think Nate is also running it. A Kyle Busch throwback. I just don't know which one that is, though.
Battle here. This is Scott Kalal under pressure from Zachary Hines. And Kalal did a great job at Kansas, got that stage win to solidify himself into the playoffs. Got trucks on the wall behind. All over the place.
Connor Cunningham and Spencer Brown and Austin DeLong almost, I was about to hold my breath, Emerson. I thought I was going to see 3 wide for a minute off of turn 2, and I'm like, this does not work here. Everyone's a lot of trucks falling backwards here.
Trying to find their place in line, and Sean Corcoran trying to fend off Joshua Marcy. They're going side by side.
Spencer Brown is having tons of issues. He's dropping about 5 spots right there as Gerwitz is now going by him on the inside. Spencer Brown was involved in that last wreck as well.
And Spencer Brown trying to keep that 71 machine going. Did he pit? He's into the wall again. This is going to be very treacherous for these drivers to navigate around the 71 machine.
I'm going to say it already. I do not like running the outside lane here at Darlington. I've been doing a lot of cup racing here, and the outside is just asking to abuse that right rear tire. And it's just something I just go against in my whole book.
There's not a whole lot of grip up there.
No, it's not. I mean, you're talking about all the marbles off these trucks are going to kick up there in that groove. I mean, you're going to need a lot of people to run that for a while to be able to make that work, especially with the resurface that we did on iRacing here in that last update a couple of months back. But I mean, that bottom lane is basically where you want to be to just make sure you save tire and stuff. That's why you see a majority of these trucks running that bottom lane and using that top if they can't get a pass done. But I'm seeing a lot of guys trying to search for clean air as well. You're seeing like them peeking out their nose, that left side, basically out in the top to try to get clean air, or down the bottom. As you see Godinez coming out the corner, you see he's peeking a little bit of that nose to get clean air off the top lane on Cider, trying to build a run on him. But I'm a little concerned about some of these guys because these are most of the guys right here who are looking at it are below the cut line. They're not really getting stage points right now.
Yeah, you see it. Very fierce battle sideways. Marcy, big time impact against the inside wall for Joshua Marcy.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt the steering there a little bit.
Think he got away with a lot of damage there, but still, battle here, DeLong and Cunningham. This for 16th.
Yeah, Cunningham started all the way back in 28th, did not qualify. Started in the rear of the field, making some decent ground. Oh, it looks like he's getting a little bit free on the bottom there, trying to make a run happen on the exit. He's going to try to set him up for turn 3. Oh, DeLong just about kissed that.
You know what?
Right there.
That's the commitment you need to be fast here at Darlington. DeLong, just as I said, right, you want to give up that position to the inside unless you are committing to that outside lane. Well, DeLong committed to that outside lane, and he got all he could. And Connor actually ends up backing off there. He saw the commitment from DeLong. Now DeLong, he gets to use up the whole track here on exit. And so DeLong fighting valiantly as Slider slams the wall behind.
Yeah, they got some battles up ahead too. Jeffrey Recky's gotten to the outside of Matthew Greathouse. That's a position for, I believe, fifth, I believe top 5 position for Recky. So good stuff right there. And then Ben Park just behind them a little bit too. Just made the pass like Corey Stahl. Corey Stahl having a pretty, solid night so far to say. Ben Park, one of easily the good, nice paint schemes, and I will say on the throwback weekend, but having a nice solid night. Ben's definitely one of those guys we need to watch. Previous champion in the truck series. I mean, just think, Emerson, his first win of the season came in that truck series championship race for the win that title.
That's right. And Ben Park trying to reclaim some of that speed. The competition has picked up a little bit here at that level. Midnight Motorsports has definitely made their mark on this series. There has been a lot of speed out of them. Kyle Spees' return to SRN has come, and then even teammate to Ben Park and Ben Morrow, showed up and has brought a lot of speed. So the series looks a little different. Also, it was 2 separate series at that point with Fiverr and Glytch. And so, we'll look at it here, but Coming around, we're looking lap 24.90. The stage still to come at lap number 30.
Is it 30?
And now,
I don't know.
yeah.
JB, I've been getting messages from JB saying it was 20.
Oh, we were on lap
exactly.
24, so.
Okay, he actually just messaged me saying we'll make the stage 30. We don't have a race control tonight, so apparently we have to monitor that. But we don't know if anything's going to change here in the top 10. The only thing that maybe will flip-flop is between Rocky, Greyhouse, and De La Rosa. All three of these trucks are under a blanket with McKinney just looking back there as well. It's weird seeing McKinney in this Jimmy Johnson scheme. I'm used to him in either that yellow one he had or the green one he won on last week.
Got a truck coming off the pit lane there, and Gregory Thurlow. Few trucks off the pace here, all because of damage. Battle here. This is for third. Kyle Spees and Jason Green going at it, and even up front things are tightening up. Ben Morrow, not so clear. I also want to give a shout out to Andrew Harris, where he did just barely make the playoffs. Actually, he missed it, and then was re-awarded his points that he did not get for, I believe it was perfect attendance bonus points. He was able to get and put him back into the playoffs. Andrew Harris, the last time we were at Darlington, had to start dead last due to a penalty in the previous week. Had the cleanest truck and won. He went from dead last to the first to the win and not a scratch on his truck. So Andrew Harris, he is somebody to definitely watch here at Darlington.
Yeah, Andrew is one of those types of racers. When you give him a good truck and solid starting position where he's not like middle of the pack, you know, having to work his way forward, he can give you consistent laps. I mean, you can see it here, and this is easily, I think, like you mentioned, Emerson, one of his better consistent tracks in Darlington. I think he just feels comfortable with this place, and once you get comfortable with this place, which is very rare, especially with how these how this track is, I mean, that's something to be scared about. But Ben Morrow being on pole, I mean, he's doing a great job leading most of these laps, and I mean, he's only got 2 more laps to be able to get the stage win here, and that's a really big stage point.
So Ben Morrow leading here, lap and a half to the stage.
De La Rosa met the Greyhouse.
Oh no!
De La Rosa tried to clear his teammate and was just not clear going down to turn 1. He tried to pull the slider, and it just did not end up going well for the 2 teammates at JBR.
We're gonna take a look back and see what happened. This up above Darlington. Big run here for De La Rosa. Great House and De La Rosa get together. Big hit there. I mean, this is going to be the point we talk about all night, Ed. Turn 1 and going into it side by side. You just can't do it unless one or the other gives it up. It's just so incredibly difficult to make this work without the other party basically agreeing it's going to work.
I mean, it's just one of those types of passes that is tough. I mean, you can make it work, but you gotta be as close enough to where you can be able just to send it in there. And here, you'll see it here. Marcy's good enough there, but he needs a little bit more out of the nose to be able to send that more better to where he can just stop in front of Matthew Greyhouse. I just don't like it, the aggressiveness, because for one, Nathan De La Rosa hasn't been a full-time driver. He didn't make the playoffs. But 2, it's also a teammate that he just got involved in that can also ruin his chances of making it to the next round. So it's like, it's tough to call there. I'm not a fan of it personally. I know you got the faster truck and all, but it's tough. It's just really tough. I know Matthew Greyhouse probably ain't happy about it, but
I think Greathouse is relieved that he didn't get any damage in it. I think Greathouse came out very, very well in that entire situation. Stage 1 winner, yeah, Ben Morrow. As Morrow collects the stage then, with a hard-charging Andrew Harris behind, not able to get it done. Corey Stalvin, I think, got 10th there in the stage. We'll see where De La Rosa gets scored there, because De La Rosa was, part of the caution. But he was inside the top 10. All of this
Yeah,
is, of course,
I
go for
I
it.
think they're gonna go off of like where they crossed the start finish line when they caught the pace car.
So yeah,
So I know we can definitely confirm Ben Morrow's stage winner. I have Harris second, Speeds third, Jason Green fourth, Racky fifth, McKinney sixth. Actually, I have Matthew Grayhouse seventh, with Ben Park eighth, Corey Stahl ninth, and Dan Park 10th.
well, there you go. We're gonna take a quick step aside here. Quick message from our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Darlington Raceway. The track dubbed as too tough to tame has already claimed a few victims tonight. And so, well, here we are at Darlington, the egg-shaped oval, and we are already working our second caution of the night, lap 33 of 90. More action is sure to come. Ben Morrow, our stage 1 winner, leads the field now as he is double wide as they work their way into turn 3. Andrew Harris second. Cal Spees, Jason Green, Dalton McKinney, Jeffrey Radke, the Park Brothers, Ben and Dan, Scott Claw, and Corey Stahl. The top 10 as the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Ben Morrow. And green flag, Indian Racing once again from Darlington. Back into turn 1, it's Ben Morrow and Andrew Harris, the top 2. They try to rocket away.
Spin, turn 1, Aaron Gurwitz, Connor Cunningham.
Oh, big wreck!
Big one.
There's going to be 3-4 trucks involved, maybe more, as the caution comes back out for the third time today.
I saw 3 playoff banners in that wreck right there. I saw Matthew Grayhouse get a piece of it. Connor Cunningham and Aaron Gurwitz with the worst of damage.
And go back and take a look at it.
And again, Emerson, I hate to say it, but I think it was one of these moments side by side again in the turn 1.
Turn 1, can't commit. Slider, net codes into Aaron Gurwitz. Everyone tried to check up, and oh my goodness.
Oh, big hit for Zachary Hines.
So
Matthew Grayhouse hits the nose end right on the quarter panel of Connor Cunningham.
So easily, this could be 4, maybe 5 trucks, playoff trucks involved in this incident.
Hey, right now, it's looking like everybody that qualified up front is in the hot seat right now. I mean, they're doing great. Everybody that didn't qualify well that's a playoff driver is having mistakes.
At Cunningham, great house, for sure, Slider.
Yeah, and Gurwitz. All with at least somewhat of an impact in this wreck.
Oh,
just tough hits. I mean, it's just treacherous going down there side by side, and Slider just tried to peek his nose in right there. I mean, there was going to be contact no matter what, I feel like, with how deep it looked like Slider was going to send it on the bottom. But, I mean, Netcode just finished it off and took a lot of victims there. As you see on board, oh, front long had a moment. Saw that on the inside. Going down here into turns 1, just looks like he's trying to be aggressive, trying to get some spots, and it does look like Gerwitz came down a little bit from running the wall, but that's just normal. But Slider gets the benefit of it with maybe just a little bit of a darling stripe on that right side.
He avoided somehow really getting torn up and down, man. Oh my goodness.
They could call that either way, but it's definitely going to be a netcode racing incident. But it's like Slider's trying to definitely be aggressive there and try to get the spot, but also Gerwitz is, you know, somewhat not running the preferred line, running the top. I know he's probably not comfortable running it all the way against the boards, but that's what you got to do when you're running the top. And going to be side by side going into turns 1 and 2. Or at least back out of it. Well, actually in that situation, Slider's just back out of it. I mean, look at everybody coming in full speed. I mean, where are you going to go? Look at them all just scattered down to the bottom of the pit exit.
Unfortunate. So we're getting our third caution of the day, and nearly halfway already in this race. We work lap 38 of 90.
Yeah, this one's going pretty quick.
Oh, don't say that. But no, these drivers are doing a pretty good job so far. I think they got to really work on, you know, obviously turn 1 incidents and sort that out a little bit.
I think all of our incidents so far have been turn 1. I think
maybe 1 out of turn 2.
Turn 1 and turn 2. Yeah. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 and 4 seem like the safe haven right now. I mean, I even called it 2. Turn 1 and 2 were going to be the treacherous ones. But it's just like, I know some of these guys want to be as aggressive as they possibly can to try to make up some ground in that back, but I just don't know. You got to think, you know, future instincts, you got to work on qualifying. I know everybody here wants to work on race pace, but qualifying matters tremendously in the long game.
Another throwback here. Sean Corcoran, Petty Blue.
I don't think Petty ever ran that many stickers on it either. Joe Ruggles was throwback to himself. Back to when he debuted back in 2015. I don't know when.
Connor Cunningham here. This
I know exactly that throwback.
What is this throwback then?
So Connor, I forgot what it was all about. It was something about a warplane. So Connor made me run this throwback back in SRN long time ago. Oh, was it SRN? It was some other league, I think, but I don't remember. It was a different league, I'm pretty sure. But we ran this throwback when we had a throwback race back at Darlington. It was just like one that he picked out, found it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see it on the truck, too. Brings back flashbacks. Good flashbacks. That was like when I first started racing on iRacing.
Well, here we go. Connor looking to make some inroads in our playoff run here. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find it safety down to pit lane. The field is in the hands of Ben Morrow. As they approach the restart zone. Green flag back in the air, racing once again from Darlington.
Oh, the big check out on the restart. All the leaders are stacking up big time. 3 wide going into turn 1.
Off of turn number 2, Andrew Harris clears to the race lead.
Yeah, Ben Morrow did not get a good start going through the gears. Stacked up everybody on that bottom inside lane. Andrew Harris, one of the more dominant looking trucks here at Darlington in recent years, now leading here.
Morrow on the aggressive, trying to get back forward. Morrow probably does not like the way that truck handles in dirty air. Meanwhile, Andrew Harris is opening the gap and driving away.
Hey, opening the gap, driving away, but Jason Green is also filling that mirror of that 75 machine. Watch that 55 come to life, and as well as that long run menace in himself, Kyle Spees just behind, waiting to pounce on that long run opportunity probably.
Anyway, here, this is the battle for 8th between Stahl and Godinez. And taking a look at what's getting really tight here. Michael Lepicki on Ruggles here.
Into turn 3. Actually is one of our biggest movers for the playoff drivers wise. Started 23rd up to 9th in the top 10, so a great run for that 88 truck. Trying to do all he can right now to keep that thing in the top 10.
Yeah, plus 14 for Godinez, plus 15 for Sean Corcoran.
Another guy that we've talked about plenty of times in recent weeks, Emerson's, has been consistent. He's just got to finish the job.
Run here for Corey Stahl. This is on Daniel Park. By the way, Daniel Park leading that Tier 2 championship right now and running pretty well. Up inside the top 10, a lot of pace here. And now trying to fend off Stahl and playoff driver Dylan Godinez.
Yeah, just think about it. I mean, a little bit of fuel saving by Dan Park. We could have been talking about him in the playoff situation.
Yeah. Godinez catches the wall there in the middle of 1 and 2. Has to find his way back a little bit.
Yeah, we had a battle almost between the 1 and the 74. That was for top 10. Actually, 11th, actually, excuse me. But also DeLong got around Ben Park for 10th, actually. So we have 8 playoff drivers now currently in the top 10. Just about halfway in this race.
Actually, this time by will be halfway here at the track dubbed as Too Tough to Tame. Andrew Harris now taking the lead from Ben Morrow on the restart. Morrow led every lap from start to the lap 40 restart, and now Andrew Harris is out in front halfway here from Darlington.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he's pulling away either. Ben Morrow's still in that rear end of that truck, and I mean, Andrew Harris has got to be in the catbird seat right now with the clean air, but Ben Morrow's trying to do everything he can to put the pressure on this 87 truck. The onboard here, it looks like Andrew Harris is just doing a little bit of mirror driving, trying to fill that 75 with some dirty air, not letting him get any comfort off the exit of these corners. But Ben's been getting some pretty somewhat decent exits too.
Yeah.
Maybe set him up here for turn 2. He's got to work on this entry here and down to turn 2. Maybe cross it up right here. Duck it down back to the bottom. Let's see a battle here with Sean Long. Scott Kowal. Scott Kowal with a pretty somewhat decent night tonight. One of those playoff drivers.
Just saw a little point of contention down the track. Took a peek at it. Back up front. Same story. Harris leading Morrow. Morrow, big run. No peak yet. Morrow applying the pressure on Andrew Harris.
Yeah, looking back here, Sean Long falling backwards a little bit. Back in the 16th spot now. Under fire now from Michael Lepicki. This was a battle I've been watching too. Corey Stahl, Dylan Godinez.
Yeah.
Dylan Godinez has been trying to find every way possible to try to get a run and get around Corey Stahl right now. Oh, almost kisses the wall there on the exit, but not a bad run for Corey Stahl tonight. Pretty consistent driver. Nice top 10 run. Trying to fight Dan Park for that Tier 2 championship right now.
And Corey Stahl.
Oh my. Sean Corcoran clapped that wall.
A lot of pace in this 33 machine, but I think he ran a part-time schedule. That's why he wasn't able to get a playoff spot this season. But Corey Stahl, very fast driver at that. And is definitely going to be a factor in that Tier 2 championship for sure. Actually, check that. He is not in the Tier 2 championships. Corey Stahl is just running for pride and maybe some money if he can get himself into the top 5.
It's definitely doable. Corey Stahl has definitely had top 10, top 5 pace these last couple of weeks. Seeing him run pretty well at Kansas.
Oh, here we go.
Some incidents happen. Oh, Ben Morrow found a way to get to the inside, but doesn't look like anything. Watch Jason Green maybe try to cross. There it comes.
Exactly what I was afraid of. Jason Green looks to the inside. He backs off, being the gentleman entering the corner. But now Morrow has his hands tied. How aggressive do you try to get with Harris before you open the door for Green? And don't look too soon as Kyle Spees is in behind. As Green looks down to the inside, he files back in line. And all of a sudden, Harris has a half-second advantage.
Yeah, and both these guys being teammates under that Bird Dog Racing Brigade. How much, will Jason Green take some patience staying behind his teammate when he knows he's a little bit faster right now, and knowing that 25 machine of Kyle Spees' truck is starting to come to life as we're putting laps down, and he's just getting better and better as the more laps get down in this race. Watch this run here on Kyle Spees. He's starting to build something here on Jason Green.
Oh, yes.
That truck just looks like it's hooked up to that bottom really well right now. Look at the exit he gets here.
Kyle Spees is on a big run. Slow truck on the inside. That's Gerwitz. Oh.
Try to force Jason Green into a mistake there, but also a little bit behind Kyle Spees right now. Our former champ, Jeffrey Radke. And that Wrangler throw. Oh, Ben Park sideways.
Ben Park, big moment there off the corner. Saves it. And we stay green. DeLong and Godinez, the teammate, swap spots as Godinez eats wall.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get to this run, Emerson, where those right rears are starting to cook. You can hear them boiling from up here in the booth.
And these trucks, they're getting closer and closer to that wall. I think Morrow hit it.
Oh, Ben Morrow.
If he didn't, he got really close.
It's weird because it looks like some of these drivers are struggling with tight trucks on the exit, and some of them are struggling with loose trucks on the exit.
Well, that's part of the fun here at Darlington. You very much could be tight in one corner, loose on the other corner, or tight on entry, loose on exit. I mean, Joshua Marcy is in trouble. And Joshua Marcy has already hit the pit lane. He's called it a day, but that truck is destroyed.
This battle for third is starting to get a little bit heated up again. Kyle Spees is somewhat building little bits and pieces here of a run coming through here, but Radke is also looking for maybe one of them to maybe pounce on each other, and maybe he gets this opportunity. And then also coming through that picture, last week's winner, Dalton McKinney, and that Jimmy Johnson throwback also just lurking.
Oh, Green! Pounds the wall down! Sideways in front of the 25! Big run, Kyle Spees!
Oh, and that's going to hurt a little bit of his momentum. He's side drafting on that core panel, trying to send it on the bottom here.
He's down there.
Jason Green with the momentum on the top lane. Now he's going to be able to get back to him on the exit, but can Kyle Spees just pin him enough to where he can maybe try to send here down to turn one?
Who's going to lift? Side by side into turn one. Neither of them lift.
Oh, man. Kyle Spees still with the nose ahead. It's the fence a little bit. Here comes Radke.
Green eats the wall. Here comes Radke.
Dalton McKinney looking to pounce on this as well, hoping they stay side by side enough to where he can fit his nose right there where Radke can get by. Oh, looks like Jason Green's truck is just starting to struggle as now Corey Stahl almost went sideways as they lose two spots to both DeLong and Godinez.
Oh my goodness. Now McKinney wants a piece of the action.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson.
McKinney's peeking. Wants to send it, but he can't.
Gets the clean air on that nose, though. He's going to have a decent run coming off the exit here. Hoping that Jason Green's going to get a little bit loose. Maybe try to get the opportunity to maybe send it down to turn one. Looks like he's going to try to maybe set it up for the next set of corners.
Battle here, Cunningham and Lepicki.
This is for top 15. This is for 14th, actually.
Wow, how quickly things got crazy there. Now, I have to imagine, Ed, if we're starting to think about this being a one-stopper to the end, this stuff should happen right about now if you think this is going to go green. I don't think anyone thinks that, but...
We're 30 laps just about into the run from when we got tires, just about getting there.
And 30 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely maybe try to come down and get some tires here maybe in the next 2, maybe 5 laps. Even if anything of that, I mean, we might see some people maybe try to stretch it.
Here we go.
It's going to be the wave.
McKinney's in. Just as I suspected. This is the time. Radke's in as well. You'll peep new graphics for us on the left-hand side. The pit icon will turn yellow when the drivers travel down the pit lane. It'll be red in the pit box. It'll be orange on pit exit.
I'm keeping an eye here on the 2 leaders. Ben Morrow's now ducking down to come down the pit road right now.
Here comes Morrow.
Harris and Spees both stay out. That's going to be the tricky part. Are they all going to make it? Jason Green is well coming through. This is a really tough pit road to get on, Emerson. 45 miles an hour. And this pit road entry is